Welcome back to Red Right Lodge.
Tonight's episode is going to be all about the witch.
So, The Witch, directed by Robert Eggers, came out in 2015.
2015.
Starring Anna Taylor-Joy as the character Thomason, Ralph Ineson as William, Kate Dickey as Catherine, Harvey Crimshaw as Caleb, Ellie Granger as Mercy, and Lucas Dawson as Jonas. Those are the two little twins. And then Black Phillip as himself.
Which he is the goat.
Yes. The cinematography in this film is really good. And I wanted to mention who did it. A guy named Jaron Blake. And that's who did like all of the Eggers films.
Cool.
So
it's
I thought it was just worth mentioning.
Part of his little team.
Yeah, part of the team. Yeah. He's got a tight-knit group of people that they seem to work with. And so his brother is like he's a writer with him, but I don't think he worked on this film, but definitely with Lighthouse and coming up with Nosferatu, which is going to be the next one.
Well, I really like The Witch. It's like one of my favorite movies. The first time I saw it, I was like, yes, this is perfect. Yeah. Like everything about it. It's so like, I love historical films, first of all. And it's so like realistic. Just everything about it.
It has authenticity.
It feels so authentic. It's so good. The writing, the cinematography or whatever, however you say it, all of that. It's so good. Is there music?
Yeah, there is music. It's subtle, and subtle. Mark Corvin did the music. I don't know what else he did, but and he probably works with the Eggers on their other films, but I'm not sure.
Well, they did a really good job with the music. I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's like,
I can't believe I just said that.
It's not in your face.
I just said I didn't remember it.
Right. I don't think so. I was thinking about it when we just watched it again.
Yeah.
It is subtle and it's eerie. And if it wasn't there, you'd miss it.
Well, they did a really good job with the movie, is what I think I meant to say.
Well,
but anyways, it's really good. It takes place in 1630 in New England. You know, that's like right at the beginning of all that.
Yeah, the settlement, the colonization.
That mess. Yeah. Anyways, that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about witches.
Right.
Yeah, so it basically takes place with this family, Anna Thomason, whatever the heck her name, Anna Taylor-Joy, that's right. I knew it was an Anna. I don't know her last name, but anyways, she plays the eldest daughter.
Right, Thomason.
Yes, and Ralph
Ineson.
That's the father.
Yep.
And then Kate Dickey, she is the mother.
Right.
And they also have Harvey Scrimshaw. Is that how you say
Scrimshaw.
He is the middle child.
Yeah. Kind of the oldest son, I guess.
Yeah, the oldest son. And then Ellie Granger and Lucas Dawson, they play the youngest twins. Yeah. So it's this whole family, and they're in New England, but then all of a sudden they get banished.
Well, they're part of a plantation,
a
colony.
Like a new settlement.
Yeah, but it opens up with with like some sort of
argument,
council meeting, and the town leaders are basically banishing this family, and we don't know exactly why. Basically, it's some sort of religious disagreement because William, the father character, he says, I've done nothing wrong. I've done nothing but preach the gospel. And they're like, you're not our judges here. We're yours. And then they send them off.
Yep.
And so they take off. They get in their cart and ride and settle at The edge of some woods.
Yeah, it seems
far
like
away, like 2 days
place.
journey. Apparently,
it's got a nice little stream. It's a good clearing. I mean, it seems like a good place to settle down, and that is what they do. And they build a great cabin, and
and some outbuildings.
And I'm just amazed that he built. They built that by hand.
So they settle there, they find this place, and then all of a sudden, it's probably, who knows, maybe a year later.
Yeah, because it's pretty, like, they've got corn crops, they've got a whole house, a barn, they've got goats, Black Phillip, they've got,
other goats,
and everything's going good. Yeah, they have a baby son.
Yes.
We don't
Samuel.
Really,
I don't know who played.
We don't know who played the baby. Yeah, some random baby.
Yeah, babies.
But everything's going good, and Thomason, the oldest daughter, she's out babysitting her new baby brother, and she's, they're playing peekaboo out.
He's probably like
field.
5 months old or something, 4 months.
It's a little baby.
No, younger than that. Yeah, little baby.
They're playing peekaboo. She's all like, all that.
It's just the two of them.
Yeah, just the two of them. And she's doing it, and then all of a sudden she does it. Bam! The baby is gone. Just vanishes.
When she opens her eyes.
But you can hear a little rustle.
Yeah, she looks up
in the
and
grass,
looks toward the woods.
And into the woods.
Yes.
But you don't see anything. You just see a little rustle in the air, basically.
Yeah. And then it cuts to the wooded scene.
Oh, yeah, it does. And somebody is running off with that baby.
Yes. Running through the woods.
The witch.
A hooded figure.
Obviously.
The witch.
The movie's called The Witch. Yeah,
right.
It's really quick. It gets right into it.
Yeah.
And it shows this evil, wicked old woman with the baby in some gross little witch hut. And she's doing terrible things. And yeah, she basically uses the baby for magic. That's all we really need to say. We don't need to go into detail.
Okay, yes, that's true. She uses the baby for magic.
Yeah.
Namely, to change her appearance.
Yeah.
But it's a cool shot right after that. Yeah. You pointed it out this time when we watched it. I didn't ever notice it before.
It shows her like flying off on a broom, but it's really subtle.
From her back.
You just see a silhouette of a hunched over figure, and it's not like in your face that she's on a broom. You can't even see a broom, but I
didn't even realize it.
Yeah, I noticed it the second time. I was like, it looks like she's riding on a broom.
And it's a silhouette up against the giant moon. Full moon.
It's really
cool. Really a great shot. Yeah.
But after that, it goes to the next scene, and the family is grieving.
Yes, the mother especially, Catherine Kate, is just overcome with grief.
Of course she is. It's her baby.
Yeah. No,
she does a great job. She's a really good actress.
Yeah, she was there grieving and kind of trying to go on with life. Like William is Thomason's gathering water.
And, this father and son, they attempted to search for the baby. But, I mean, it's 1630.
And it's a week later.
If it's not a witch, it's a wolf. And it's like, what do you do? The baby's gone.
Right.
You're out in the middle of nowhere. It's obviously either a witch or a wolf. Like, something evil took the baby, and they kind of know it.
Right. And it's obviously a wolf. I mean, who really thinks it's a witch?
But it's not.
No, I know. But I mean, that's what they tell the kids.
A witch.
And,
but they're kind of like in denial, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I mean, at those times and under the circumstances, I mean, what else you would have to blame it on witchcraft. They blame everything on witchcraft.
We find out later during a confrontation between Thomason and her dad that she knew it wasn't a wolf. I mean, he told her it's a wolf. He told everybody else it was a wolf.
Yeah, he's like, it was a wolf. It's okay.
Didn't attack her. She didn't see it. She knew it wasn't a wolf.
Yeah.
But what was she going to say?
I mean, right? It's magic. I mean, how do you explain that?
Yes. The two little menacing twins, Mercy and Jonas.
They have this laugh about them.
It
is so wicked. Like, they just are constantly cackling
and poking fun at Thomason. And just
they're always pushing her buttons.
Yeah, just being regular annoying little siblings.
It shows Thomason and her brother. What was his name? Samuel?
No,
that's the
Caleb,
baby. Caleb. Yeah, Thomason and Caleb are doing laundry in the river, trying to get over things. And then all of a sudden, those two little twins come out of nowhere talking about clickety clackety, I be the witch of the woods, as a joke,
Right.
Ha ha ha. You're the one who took the baby. Basically taunting Thomason.
And she mentioned something about so Thomas like, no, it's a wolf that took and there's no witch, there's no such thing as that. And Mercy says, oh, Black Phillip told me it
right.
was.
She's
this
like,
is the first reveal that there's something
because you
going
would
on
see
with
in some of the other earlier scenes, it does show the twins singing to the goat. They have their little
dancing together.
Black Phillip, Black Phillip,
Yeah.
Black Phillip,
Right.
and they're obsessed with this goat.
Mm-hmm.
And
they turned out to be bewitched by it. Really.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
Yes.
So, anyways, she's
so
like, no,
there
ain't no witch in the woods. I'm the witch. And she taunts her and tells her, and she threatens her, you better not tell mom and dad, or I'm gonna witch you. And
she takes it a little too far.
She does. She terrifies that little girl, and she runs.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
And then it just goes back to cuts to the scene at supper.
Yeah.
And Kate, the mom, is really disgusted by
she basically is
Thomas's presence.
She just blames her.
Yeah.
And a lot of resentment is going on between her and it's just not good. Their relationship is crumbling, and then all of a sudden, a missing cup is mentioned.
Her silver cup,
which
her father's
the father,
silver cup.
The husband, he actually sold it.
But nobody knows that but
and
us.
He didn't tell, and he let the daughter take blame.
Yeah, he didn't say, and now he hasn't told the daughter. Nobody knows but him right now.
Yeah,
he sold it.
He ends up admitting to it.
Yeah, later on,
letting them know.
Right.
But
yes. So the mother is like accusing, Thomason, you took, where's the cup? What happened to it? I've seen you fondling it, and then she's like, oh, did a wolf take it too? She's really kind of chiding her, and the dad, you can kind of tell that the dad feels bad. He hasn't confessed, and he feels bad that his wife is basically hating their daughter for something she didn't do.
Yeah, so later that night, the kids actually overhear their parents discussing things that they probably shouldn't be listening to. The crops are failing. They're going to starve to death. Thomason is getting old enough to be married. We need to do something with her. Basically all that kind of fun stuff.
And so the father agrees to, all right, tomorrow morning I'll get up. I'll take Thomason into town. I'll try to trade for some food.
He knows
or do
of a
something.
good family.
Yeah, there were two families.
There's a family that she could go to.
They can make use of her.
Yeah.
So they overhear this, and then apparently Caleb comes up with
he has a plan.
And he wakes up early in the morning. The next shot is him before dawn, saddling up the horse,
getting his stuff together.
But Thomason comes in there, hears him getting ready.
She heard.
She's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. He's like, "I'm going to save the day."
Yeah, he's going to go to town. I don't know exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah,
he's
I don't know.
I'll be back by midday, and you won't have to leave the farm. But she's not having that.
Yeah, she's like, you have to take me.
I'm not sure why. Yeah, she wants to go. She doesn't want to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she probably has just uncertainty about being there now. I mean, mother hates her.
Well, also, I mean, just think about how siblings are. You're like, I'm coming.
Yeah.
No, you're not doing nothing without me.
Right. And also, she probably feels like she could protect him because he is the younger.
Yeah, he is young.
Of the two.
He's like, what, 12 or something?
I don't know, not even that.
Maybe
probably
like 10.
And she's like 14.
She's like young. Yeah, like 14 or something. Yeah. So anyway, so they decide to go. And they
set off
out in the woods. And then all of a sudden their dog gets spooked, or like he sees a rabbit.
Yeah, they see this rabbit, which is not the first time they saw it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he chases after it.
Mm-hmm.
And Caleb gives chase after him. And they have taken with them the horse, the dog, and the gun.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, but they thought they were going to be back by midday.
Mm-hmm.
So they do that, and the horse gets spooked and throws Thomason off, and she gets knocked out. And then we
She
follow
passes
Caleb.
out and we don't know what happens. And then he gets separated.
Yeah, they're
And
separated.
he's like out in the middle of the woods. And obviously, like, that was like the witch. She did something. She caused that whole spectacle to happen. Right. And we see her and he sees her. He finally comes up on her hut. And she is now young and beautiful. And you can see in Caleb's eyes, he is terrified, but he is being lured to her.
It's like he's compelled.
Walking through these bushes, struggling, and he gets to her, and then all of a sudden she grabs him and puts her mouth on his mouth.
Yeah, and
I don't think it's a kiss as much as I'm sucking your soul.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's and so she looks all young, and then when she reaches her arm around, she's got this wicked old.
Her hand, and they always say you can tell a woman's age by her hands.
In this case, you could.
Yeah, they were like really old looking.
Yeah. And all this time, like it cuts back and forth between Caleb wandering in the woods,
and the family is actively searching.
Yeah, they're out in the farm yelling, and then Thomason wakes up, and she's starting to wander back out of the woods, and she hears her father's voice. So she wasn't nearly as far into the woods. No,
it was obviously like a trick done by the witch to get that little boy.
Right.
But anyways, so they go back home, no sight of Caleb, and something happens, and they send Thomason outside to do something with the goats. Yeah. And she finds Caleb. He does return. He
wanders up.
He's still alive, but he's not okay.
He's naked.
He's naked, pale, and he has bite marks
on his mouth. And so he's sick.
Yeah, he's sick, and now it's like obvious to the family. Okay, he's been bewitched. Something evil is going on. What's going on?
Yes. And so Caleb, he's sick, and they take him and put him up in the attic in a bed. It's like, I guess that's where sick kids
They have
stay.
Like one bed.
Yeah, right. So they leave him up there, and then they kind of, I wouldn't say carry on as normal, but they're having to do the stuff that they would normally have to do on their farm.
Of course.
They're all outside.
It's 1630.
Right.
If you don't, you die.
That's right. And then suddenly, Caleb screams out.
Yeah. Thomason, she's outside milking the goat.
Oh yeah, with Jonas
starts
and
coming
Mercy
out. Yeah, just
out in this is
real
a different
sinister
scene.
Things going on.
Yes, yeah. That's right. Yeah, so it's all kinds of cursed sort of signs. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then all of a sudden they hear him screaming.
And they all run up there, and he's like moaning, and he's saying crazy stuff about a wolf and a black dog, and it's like she's coming for me and all this stuff, and then. The father's like, oh, we got to pray, and so they're starting to pray the Lord's Prayer or Psalm 23 or something. Anyway, and Jonas and Mercy, the little twins, can't pray. They can't remember it. They can't do
they're
it.
Like, we forgot our prayers. We can't remember our prayers.
Right. And they're like, what? What are you talking about?
Oh, hell no.
Yes.
You are definitely bewitched.
Right.
So and the game is over. The dad is so serious.
Right. But they're saying, oh, it's Thomason. She's the witch. She's bewitched us.
And then she's all like,
And they're like writhing on the ground, and they're like imitating what Caleb's doing. Mm-hmm. And Thomason's like, no, and the father's like confronting her. He's like, I haven't raised a witch in my house. And they end up, he takes her outside, and they're having this discussion and a confrontation where basically she's like, you let mother think I took the cup. So in a previous scene to this, that William actually confesses to Kate that he's the one who sold the cup, and it wasn't Thomason. And so she confronts him like that, like you're a hypocrite and you're a liar because
you can't hunt, you can't farm,
right. And he gets super angry.
He's like, "You bitch!"
He does. And it's so crazy. It sounds humorous in a way, but it's not. I mean, this is
it's
real.
so funny when he starts yelling at the little kids and calling them little demon children.
This is in a minute, but
that's after they can't remember their prayers.
Not yet. So she's like, okay, it's them. It's Jonas and Mercy. They've been talking to the goat. The goat's been telling them what to do, and the goat has cursed the family. You know, this is it's Lucifer. She says that.
The goat is the devil.
He's convinced by this. He goes. They both go back up to the attic, and at this point, Caleb is having some vision. He's like really hyper. I don't know how you would describe it, but he's like having some vision of heaven and Jesus, and
he's being hysterical.
Hysterical. That's the word.
Yeah, and he dies. Yeah. Well, he starts praying and talking about visions and how she's coming, a cat, a wolf, a raven, all this kind of mess. And then he goes into the prayer and it's like you can see him looking at something above him. And then, he just...
elated.
Yeah.
His feet, seems like.
And then he dies.
Yes. And
the mother, of course, is hysterical.
Uh-huh.
Everyone's freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
And
then the twins are like laying there catatonic.
Oh yeah, they like stop. They're like they're breathing really hard, and they're just laying there.
Right. And then they take. At some point, they're down. Now they're all downstairs, and the dad is in there, and he's like convinced that they are bewitched by Black Phillip.
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely convinced now.
And Thomason is not a witch, you know.
That it's the kids.
Right. And he is like cursing them and telling them to get up. Because they're just like laying there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And they do wake up, and he locks them and Thomason up in the barn with the goat. He literally nails the door shut and locks them in there.
Right.
And then he's like, we're going to town in the morning.
Yeah, I'll come.
And we're going to see about you two.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm. So he leaves them in there, and then he goes back in, and at some point, the witch shows up, like milking the goat.
Like, yeah. It shows she's all of a sudden she's in the barn with them in the
they
middle
wake
of the
up
night.
to that.
Yeah, and she's like, she's not milking the goat, ain't she? Like she's like sucking,
eating it, maybe. Yeah, doing something.
She is milking straight to the mouth.
Oh, okay. So the next scene does kind of tell us what happens there because, and yeah. Oh, so they go. I guess the parents go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And then they wake up the next morning. Wade goes outside, and he sees all the goats are exsanguinated. You know,
they've all been slaughtered.
Yeah,
they've all been like ripped open, and they're dead. That's right. She was eating it. She was eating the goat. She was killing them. She was eating them.
Yeah, and Thomason is like laying out of the window.
Yeah, and where are the kids?
They're not there.
They're just gone.
Right.
We don't know what happened to them.
No.
We really actually don't.
No, we don't.
It never shows us. Never find. Right. They're just gone, and that's it.
You can kind of guess what happened.
Yeah, so the kids are gone, and we don't know what happened to them. They're gone. That's it.
Yeah, we can guess, but it doesn't really ever say.
Yeah. They're kids. She probably ate them.
Yeah, or
like she did the baby.
Mashed them up just like the baby.
Yeah, we didn't want to get into that, but she straight made.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of channel.
Yeah.
I don't want to get flagged for saying weird things. Oh. I'm not. It's not like it's the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, you should watch it. Anyways. Thomason wakes up. She was in the threshold of the barn, just like laying there.
Yeah.
Passed out, asleep,
Passed
whatever.
out.
She wakes up and starts to get up. And then what happens to the dad?
Oh, yeah. He gets mauled by Black Phillip.
Right. He's just like... off. It's like off camera. Then he makes a
He
horrible
mauls
noise.
him into their wood stockpile, their firewood stockpile, and it all just falls on top of him and basically crushes him to death, and he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
And then it shows the mom. She sees this. She comes out screaming and immediately starts attacking Thomason.
Right, thinking it's her.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, this is all her fault. You're a witch. You caused this curse upon my family, and now everyone is dead because of you.
Right. And the mom had previously gone crazy that night. I mean, she had some kind of vision, dream, and a crow was.
She had a vision of Caleb and the baby. They had come back to visit her, and she's so happy, and she's reading them a book. And then it shows reality, and it's actually like a wolf.
No, a raven.
A raven? Isn't there a dog in there too?
Oh, there may be. I don't know.
But for sure there was definitely a bird, a raven, or a crow pecking at her boob.
Right, because she was imagining nursing the child.
Yeah, of course. She was like, oh, the baby's hungry.
And she doesn't even realize it. It's a haunting scene because she's like laughing.
Yeah.
In
she's like cackling.
Joy, but it's just, she doesn't realize
what's But like, who laughs like that?
I don't know. And then when she comes out and starts attacking.
Oh yeah, she still has blood stain on her nightgown. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she starts attacking Thomason. And Thomason's like, please, I love you, Mom. Stop. Don't.
She's the victim here, honestly.
And then what? Her mom's on top of her, and then Thomason is over here getting attacked, getting strangled, and she reaches over, and there's a rock.
Or something. A knife or a
knife or rock. It was a rock, and she smashed something. Yeah. She killed her mom.
Yes.
Yeah, she killed her.
Yes, killed her.
And whole family's dead now.
Yeah, except for her. Should we talk about what happened to the actor?
Yeah.
Because he gets mauled in this scene.
So that actually happened. That was a real goat. That was not CGI.
Right.
And he actually got really hurt during the filming of this.
Ralph Ineson.
By that goat.
Yeah, he did.
Which scene was it? They don't really.
I couldn't tell. It didn't say what.
But he was on like pain meds the whole time. Like, what was his actual injury?
Well, the worst one. He went to the hospital several times.
Yeah.
They had it in for each other the whole time. He said,
that's what he said. It was hate at first sight.
Right.
Yeah.
And so at some point, Black Phillip, or Charlie was the goat's actual name.
Charlie.
Hit him in the ribs, tore a tendon. And he was on pain meds for the rest of the filming. So anyway, but
crazy. Yeah. Goats are wild.
Yeah, this one did not like him.
He looks like an evil goat. So of course he was a real life evil goat.
Right.
But anyways,
very well cast.
The whole family's dead.
Yes, except for Thomas.
They all died.
She goes out into the barn and like falls asleep.
Yeah, she's like giving up on life. Or she goes inside, I think.
Or inside, yeah. Somewhere.
Yeah, she takes a nap.
Yeah, at the table.
She's so exhausted. And the whole family has been killed.
Right. Justifiably.
Yeah. It's exhausting. Yes.
And then she wakes up.
In like the middle of the night. That's why you don't take naps like that.
Right, because she wakes up in the middle
You mess
of the
up
night.
your sleeping schedule. Mm-hmm. And now she's up at like midnight.
Right.
Wide awake.
No, I bet it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
I bet it is too. It's probably 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And then she goes, she's like, I don't know.
She sees, so she walks outside and Black Phillip is standing outside of the barn.
Yeah.
And she follows him into the barn.
Because, I mean, after all this, like, obviously something's up with that goat. So instead of trying to kill it, she wants to go visit it.
Yeah, and she may be, at this point, under some sort of control too, because in this final revealing scene, we don't know exactly.
I have a theory.
Okay, good. I want to hear it too, because I have one too.
But basically, so she goes in the goat. She goes in the barn, and she's like, look, Black Phillip, if you're real, then you need to talk.
Uh-huh.
And she's just standing there, and all of a sudden you see this scene of the goat walking by, and he takes one step, and then the next step is a human foot.
Right.
Like a man foot with a boot, like a pirate boot.
Yeah, like a satyr foot and like a pirate.
And Black Phillip turns into a man. So at this point we know it's real.
Yeah.
This goat has bewitched, cursed this family, whatever it may be, and he is now speaking to her.
Presumably Lucifer, because at least in the folklore of this universe, there's something about a book and making a pact with the devil.
That's what it was always like. You always hear like
these
witches in history. They had made a pact with the devil, and that's why they're witches.
And so she ends up. He's talking about.
He's like,
he's alluring
her. Doubt like the taste of butter?
Yeah, right.
And apparently, I saw something about butter back in the 1600s. It was probably really rare, first of all,
right?
Like, because you're like butter, but that has some special stuff back in 1630,
right?
And he's like asking her, what do you want, like some power or something? And she's all like, yeah. Like, really, after all this, the devil has killed your entire family, and you're still gonna fall for his mess and become one of his minions.
Right. Well, she follows it. The next scene, it cuts to her following Black Phillip as the goat into the woods.
Yeah, but naked. First he's all like, you have to sign the book.
Yeah, that's right.
You have to sign the book. She's like, it's 1630. I'm a woman. I don't know how to write.
That's true.
He's like, it's all right. I'll help you. I got you, girl. And he does. And he does the little, like, he like gets behind her, like, I'll write for you with your hand.
Right.
Yeah,
a metaphor for the control he had already.
Yeah. And then it makes you wonder about the witch in the woods.
Yes.
So was the witch in the woods once a beautiful, sweet young girl as well, who was seduced by the devil?
That's what I think too.
And she was
she was a victim
slaves.
As well.
She had no choice but to do these things that
right.
Or the evil just takes over, and you're in it. You're like, I am evil. I'm stealing babies. I'm stealing children. And ha.
At some point,
look at this young girl. She's at the perfect age to turn into a witch.
Yeah, like a lot of the haunting stuff, she just become a woman. So
it's always like that.
Always like that.
But it makes you wonder. It's like this whole plan of the goat, Black Phillip, and the witch in the woods. It was always their plan to take out that entire family just to get Thomas
and to get her. It's like making a family keep
mercy.
Going on.
They could have gotten mercy too.
She was too young. They'd had to wait.
But we really don't know what happened to those kids. They could be in little cages in training.
Right. That's right. And in the final scene.
Yeah, in the final scene, after it shows her in the barn with the devil, with Lucifer, we're only going to assume, because that's what they said before. Yeah, they said that before. So, yeah, they're in there. She signs it. She made a deal with the devil.
Right, so she follows him out into the woods.
And then it shows her following him. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then they go in deep into the woods. And there's a fire.
And then all of a sudden, we see this fire.
Big bonfire.
And all these women around it. It's like a scene out of a cool 1960s cult movie.
Right.
Got all these naked dancing women around a fire in the middle of the woods. It's like a good time.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Because Thomason starts just laughing giddily.
Yeah, she walks up to the fire and she's like so excited. And then
she looks hypnotized. It's
because they all started floating.
Yeah,
all the women started floating, and then that's when she starts to laugh, and that's when she also begins to float.
Yes,
and there you have it.
Yeah, the witch.
She was the witch,
but it already had control. She had been weakened by this trauma. She was a victim, but she gave in to the circumstances.
She gave in. She was weak. She gave in.
Yeah. All right. So glad you joined us this evening for tonight's episode on The Witch. We would definitely recommend it. I think it was one of our favorite horror movies.
Yeah, it's my favorite. I love it. It's so good. Like, it's not like, oh my God, I'm so scared.
No,
but it's like
no jump scares
like
or anything
these
like
are
that.
the vibes.
It's just a great story.
It's really good. Yeah. Makes you wonder if it was based off of a book.
Well, it was. Robert Eggers talks about having gathered a whole bunch of different stories and sort of put it together. So, yeah, not based off one thing, multiple things.
Yeah, it makes me want to like research old ancient stories and origins about witches.
Yeah,
which I think a lot of it comes from like hoodoo.
Oh, voodoo from Haiti.
Like Haiti.
Well, they're even in like old texts, like in Sumerian texts in the Bible, and they talk about witches.
So
well, it's words translated from those original language to be.
It's
witch.
always been a thing to make deals with the devil since the dawn of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure in like every culture there's
Yes.
some type of like ancient witch.
Yeah.
Hoodoo and voodoo is just the most commercialized version.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
It is. It's the one that you always hear about in
Well, in the
TV
Salem
and movies.
like those type of witches, like Salem witch trials. That's pretty.
Well, I think they
prominent in
tried to
pop
say that
culture.
because what was it like? There was a slave.
Oh, Tituba. Yeah. Right.
So,
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Of course, they blame her.
Right.
She was and so I'm not sure what her origin was, but
I don't remember either. But
yeah,
I think she's probably Haitian or African.
Yeah.
At least in the stories.
Yeah.
In the Salem TV show.
So, or wasn't it also
it's
an American Horror Story or something?
Yeah, and that too. Yeah, it's not.
Witch,
yeah, those neither one of those
3.
made it up.
It's always inspired and derived from something.
Right.
Yeah. It makes me want to research like of course you hear about that, but what about more European or like things like Celtic?
Yeah.
Those people, and they worship the earth, right?
Yeah, very like.
Were you talking about pagan. Like the Green Man?
Yeah, the Green Man. I'm not sure where that mythology comes from exactly. Maybe Norse or Scandinavian or Finnish or
some type of magic though. It's like a
Welsh.
nature man or something.
Oh yeah. Like personification of nature. Yeah.
It's interesting to me.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
And of course, there's witches in like Israel, like in Bible.
Yeah, right.
And all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the words that are translated as witch. Yeah.
Do you know of any of them?
I don't know the names. No.
No, you don't know any of like the witch stories from the Bible.
I can't remember. I know Solomon went to a soothsayer.
So what's that?
Like a fortune teller.
Oh.
I don't know.
Juicy.
I don't know.
Man, these fortune tellers have been scamming people since the dawn of time.
Right. I mean, all the way up to Phantasm.
They're always going to get you.
Yeah.
I don't know about fortune tellers. I think those are just scam artists. They're not really witches.
Oh, no. Witch is a specific thing.
They're Wiccans.
Especially that's
I don't know.
That would be like modern day spiritual paganism.
I guess.
I think
it's like a religion.
It's more of a religious thing than.
I wonder where that derives from.
I mean, it's an amalgamation of a lot of different things.
There's so many different origins of witchcraft and witches. What about wizards? We don't really hear about wizards.
Yeah, wizards. That's a different class of mythology.
Like Harry Potter.
Well, I mean, you got Ivanhoe and Merlin and
Merlin,
King Arthur's court, and that whole thing. Thanks again for joining us, and we're not sure exactly what we're going to cover next time, but we hope that you join us again for our next episode.
Yeah, thanks for watching our antics.
Yes. Like and subscribe.
Yes, please.
All right. Good night.
Good night.